Kids are going back to school, which means homework. And I don't know about you, but it means that I have work that I have to do at home to help them.
It is homework for all of us. So once again, we've asked our friend Dana Edmonds of Tutoring Club of Jacksonville to join us so we can tackle the homework together.
The fun stuff.
The fun stuff. All right, so let's talk
I have anxiety.
let's talk about parents and homework, because is it our homework too?
It's really not. The purpose of homework is to reinforce the skills the students learned that day, not the skills that the parents learned. So really, just make sure your child gets the directions and then really let them do it themselves.
Dana, I have a friend who has a little boy who doesn't like to do homework.
A friend.
And it's really hard to get him to focus. So this friend wants to know, is there like a good time, like right when they come home? Should you give them 30 minutes to relax?
Well, the friend needs to know their child pretty well. Some students need a little bit of time to decompress, and some students need the discipline of sitting down when they walk in the door. So friend, know your child well enough to know what's the best thing for them, because it's not the same for every student.
Now, what about other things that are going on in the background? TV, the computer,
cell phones. That's the big, the big issue with the students is that's going off. They've got a friend texting. It really needs to be put away, and that's the time that they need quiet. They really need to try to stay in the same place every time so that there's routine. Routine is the key to everything.
And here's another question that I have that I see from time to time. Let's just say usually it's like threes. It's spelling, reading, some type of reading work, and math. What should go in what order? So for example, if my child has a harder time, let's just say with reading comprehension because he just doesn't want to focus, do you take the harder subject first for that individual to focus on it, or towards the ending? Like, what do you think on that?
Well, I believe in empowering the child, and you say, okay, this is the most difficult. Do you want to do it first and get it over with, or do you want to get everything else out of the way? You can do too much and make too many decisions for your child.
That is a great idea. Now here's a new one. New one, maybe new for you because you're not there yet, but my daughter likes to FaceTime with her friends so they can do their homework together. I'll walk by and I'll hear a conversation coming out of her room, and she's doing her homework. And for those, I'm sure your suggestion is see how the homework is getting done, right?
If it's done and it's done correctly and turned in, leave it alone. Because kids, or especially older kids, enjoy the 50 things going on, but you really have to watch the grades. If there comes a time you need to step in, step in. If you don't, then back away.
Yeah, that was a new one on me. I thought, well, I guess study
creative.
dates. Study dates, that's what it is though, except it's just online, so keeping each other company.
And we were talking to, on the last time you were on, just on study habits, maybe sometimes the weekends to do homework. I know it's not fun to do, but if you do have a lot of homework, it might be a way to get ahead on a spelling list, or maybe you have a long reading assignment ahead of you.
Sometimes students have so many activities after school that there's not a lot of time for homework. So if a student will, or if a teacher will allow, and they give the list of homework, use the weekend to get ahead. It takes a lot of the stress out of the week if they can get ahead and start their week out, on top of homework instead of behind homework.
That seems the case. How much? I know I'm coming back to where we started, but how much does a parent do? Because I feel like there are some times where you need to dig in and try to teach something, or there are some times where you have to say, well, leave it undone and take it back to your teacher and say, I wasn't able. Then we argue, well, I don't want to leave it undone.
It's all about a pattern. If you're seeing a pattern of them not understanding and using you to get it done, then don't do it. But every once in a while, it's okay to explain a skill or re-explain a skill or answer questions, but you don't want it to be a habit. If that's the case, you need to contact the teacher and see if it's a legitimate, reason.
Okay. And how many hours, in your estimation? I know it's different. But
you're laughing at it.
How many hours?
You want teachers to hate me?
Because there's a lot of homework. It seems like it's too much.
Well, we go back to our study skills that we talked about in the last segment. They need to plan. They need to use the planner and plan their study time accordingly so that, there are some times that you have no choice that they have a lot, but normally it's planning on the student's part is why there's too much homework.
Well, Dana, thanks again for the great advice. To learn more about Dana and the Tutoring Club of Jacksonville, go to our website, rivercitylivetv.com.